The next step in screen printing is burning your image into the screen when the photo emulsion has dried. It's a little bit hard to show that step because when the photo emulsion does dry, it's light sensitive. So you got to be working in a dark environment. This is where you put the light, certain type of light, over the screen with your image on it, and it will burn it in. So I'm just going to kind of simulate what that would look like. So they say to get something that has a dark background. I have this piece of foam. I think it came in a package or something. And then I have a screen that I've already burned an image on. This is the Gump image that I burned earlier, but just for an example, you put your screen down. This would just be a screen that's just fully green with the emulsion that's dried, and you're doing this in a dark environment because you're going to put light on and burn that image in. You have your image, which is a piece of transparency paper. I bought my transparency online. You have to make your image all black with no background. So I had mine actually printed out at a print shop because I didn't know how well non-commercial printer would do, but I think a regular inkjet printer, if you buy the transparency for inkjet printers, would work just fine. So what you do is you put your, I was using the back of the screen when I burnt this image in, so I put it face down, and then I put my piece of paper backwards, how you'd want to see it if it was spun around. And then they tell you to put a piece of glass on it to put some pressure. So I actually found this piece of glass in a photo frame. So if you don't think you have any plexiglass or a large piece of glass right like this to apply the pressure to your transparency onto the screen, look at a picture that you have hanging on the wall and just grab the glass from that. But basically this is to set up the dark background, the screen, your piece of transparency. I also use double-sided tape to have it stick to the screen, and then I put a piece of glass, and then this is all done in a dark environment, and then you have your light source here, and that shines down on it for a certain amount of time. They have the types of light and the exposure time and the frame sizes all listed depending on what type of light source you have. What was happening for me was my light source wasn't exactly the one that they specified in there. I kind of went the cheap route and found one at the hardware store, and I don't believe it was giving me the right type of light. So when I would go to do the next step, which is to wash out your image from your screen and the emulsion goes with it, I was having the whole screen, all this green area wash out with it, and that's due to what they say is underexposure. So what I finally did was after I exposed it for the normal amount of time, 8-10 minutes with my powerful light, I let it sit in the winter sun, which wasn't super sunny, but I let it sit for a couple hours, and that's got me the final curing that I needed. But if we were in a dark environment, I'd have the light suspended above this, and it'd be shining equally over this for about 8 to 10 minutes, whatever is specified depending on your light. And I think that over time you kind of realize how much exposure you need to give to it. But that is the burning in of the screen. And then the step after this, which is pretty simple, is to just take it to a sink, and with some high pressure wash, you basically remove your glass, remove your transparency, which can be used again, it seems, and then you start spraying out this screen, and what starts happening is anywhere that there was black, the emulsion goes with it. And so this is the area that you'll get after burning a screen, that you'll put some ink, a bead like we did with the emulsion, you'll drag it across with a good amount of pressure, and you'll push the ink through this screen onto whatever you're printing on it. So that's what the burning in of a screen, those are the steps that it looks like. Once our screen dries, I'll go do that with my other transparency, the back part of it, the vote third party for the back, and then the two lines that will go here on the front when I print that color on the front of my shirts. And I will show you a video of what it looks like finishing that exposure.